Okay, the thing about procrastination, it isn't a time management problem, it's an emotional regulation problem. So I was reading an article the other day from Mind Lab Neuroscience, and the article was about overcoming procrastination and the neuroscience about procrastination. And one of the reasons I'm thinking about procrastination so much lately is just because I'm on this real estate team, like I keep talking about, and there's a big push for everybody to make phone calls or receive phone calls from buyers and stuff like that. And inherent, it just there's something about it that, as much as I want to love it, and I want to love it, it just rubs me the wrong way because it goes against like my DNA. I'm not, I guess, truly at the heart of who I am. I'm not a cold call salesperson. You know, the thing that appealed to me about making a change was the fact that it was, everybody was so driven and everybody was so productive. But the way the productivity plays out is by doing something that's basically against my core nature. Now, if you know anything about human design, I'm what they call a projector, and I don't know the ins and outs of what it means to be a projector. I heard somebody explain it really well the other day. But one of my core features of being a projector in the human design thing is that I'm supposed to wait for the invitation. So the way that I've gotten a lot of my business in my life is in real estate, is through referrals and through my YouTube channel for real estate. So I have a YouTube channel for real estate where I talk about the pros and the cons of the town that I live in, the pros and the cons of the area that I live in, which is the Hudson Valley in New York, which is a really cool area. And a lot of people want to move here. So I've built out videos for this. So I get my leads organically, not by making phone calls, not by making cold calls, not by doing what Gary Keller said, which is 32 touches per year, and or you have to do 7 touches to get somebody to actually want to transact with you. The way I've built my business is by creating the videos and building a referral business with other agents and with people that I've transacted with who refer people to me, or through being on a referral website where I get referrals for people looking for agents like me in the area that I live in. And I've worked best with people who I feel like an affinity for, and usually they feel a connection with me after they watch my videos, and they always tell me that I'm authentic and genuine. I'm the same person in the video that they meet in real life. So the thing that's really hard for me right now, which is prompting me to think about this optimization stuff, is that I'm in a system which doesn't work with my core nature. And there's nothing wrong with the system. There are a lot of people who are succeeding in the system who love it. There are a lot of people who love to just talk to anybody at any time for any reason. And that's not me. I'm more of an introverted person. I'm more of a person who enjoys building rapport and having small one-on-one conversations with somebody. I'm not talk to 50 million people a day. You know, like, I've hung out with people, and I've always seemed to be attracted to people and drawn to people who have this outgoing personality and are the center of the liveliness in the party. And I always considered like myself like a moth drawn to a flame. But I've also realized over the years that about me that those people are not my people. Those people are great people, but I've often been burned by those people because those people talk to everybody about everything at any moment in time, and they don't really have a filter for who they allow in their life and out of their life. They're just constantly just talking, and nothing against extroverted people, but in my experience, I've had issues with extroverted people. And this is not a conversation about extroverted people versus introverted people. And introverted people can burn people just as bad as extroverted people can. So I don't really want to get into that. But the reason for this channel is me talking about the disconnect between optimization culture. I actually, there was somebody who reached out to me via email, and we hadn't kept in touch over the year. And then she emailed me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, I'd like to go see a house across the river." And I said, "Well, okay, cool. Let me see if I'm available." So I checked my schedule. I was available. Then I tried to input that person into our CRM, and I wasn't able to enter that person in the CRM because the person was already in the CRM because they'd already connected with another agent on the team. So they were connected via that. And then there's like this weird split. There's a split is what a commission is that you receive. So the lead source would get 40% of the gross commission. My team would get their cut of the commission, and then I would get the rest of it. But I said, because I've had a relationship with this person from a year ago, I should not have to pay the referral source because I have a pre-existing relationship. However, there's a 30-day rule. If you have not had one-on-one conversation with them in a year, then you still have to pay the 40%. However, I wasn't the person who the lead came to into our company. It came through somebody else. Now, this is a long, complicated story. It gets into real estate, splits, commission, and referral fees, which is not really the point of the channel. But the point of the channel is one of the more extroverted people on the team, he told me that if I had been doing my job and staying connected to that person from a year ago, then I wouldn't have to pay the 40% to the referral source. And I was like, F you. My thought was like, that's pretty insulting. I talk to a lot of people every year. I talk to a lot of clients every year, and I'm not going to be spending my time sitting in front of my computer, pumping out conversations with people just so I don't have to pay a 40% referral fee eventually one day. And so I guess that was kind of like a wake up call for me when that person said that to me, that this kind of mentality of constantly churning and burning goes against my grain, and optimizing the contacts in my CRM, optimizing my continuous output of staying connected to people in order to not pay a referral fee of 40%, or just constantly harassing people. And it feels like a harassment. Like if you reach out to a real estate agent one day and you tell them you want to buy a house, but then you change your mind and you decide that you're going to go a year without looking at houses. Do you really want a real estate agent to email you every week or send you text messages every week and stay top of mind? I mean, there is a lot of validity to that, and some people do appreciate it. But again, it's just not my personality. So as I'm thinking about optimization, and I'm dealing with the optimization bros and thinking about James Clear getting 1% better every day, and some of the people who are like top leaders, in many of these sales-driven businesses, these sales-driven careers, they're constantly wanting you to stay in front of people, stay top of mind, stay on top of everything. And it's either there are two things here that are going on. Either one, I'm not cut out to be a cold call salesperson who constantly hits people up, or two, I haven't got three fingers up, or two, I'm in the wrong profession. And I would say I'm not in the wrong profession because I actually do enjoy what I do. And I do enjoy it when I create my videos and people find me on YouTube and they give me a call or send me a text or they book an appointment on my calendar. And then we have a nice conversation and then we align, and I can be an advisor and I can be somebody who works for their best interests. So those are the people that I align with the most. Those are the things that I align with, not the optimization of every single person in my CRM. I want to get back to productivity. So the people who need productivity systems have self-diagnosed something real. They know their brain won't just naturally do the thing, but the fix they reach for, rigid frameworks, urgency loops, accountability hacks, is actually hijacking their default mode network. And okay, I'm an artist too. If you listen to my last video, I talk about how I went to art school. I have an art studio. I love art, and I spent my life in a creative career, and now I'm in a sales career. But the default mode network is where your brain goes, where it actually sorts out issues. It actually, when your brain is not trying to be forced to work, it has time to think, and it has time to come to some conclusions. So the default mode network is where integration, creativity, and contentment live. And over time, a constant optimization posture creates a person who can't tolerate stillness. And I often think that extroverted people just can't sit still. Like they can't sit with themselves. They only are happy around other people. Literally, I can't understand that kind of thinking. I love people. I love to be around people, but I only want to be around my select few. It's like I do love making friends, but I like deep connections, not a shit ton of superficial connections. So they've traded one dysfunction, which is procrastination, for another. Constant optimization posture creates a person who can't tolerate stillness. The default network activates when you're not focused on a task, when you're in the shower, on a walk, or staring out a window. When you live in a constant framework of urgency, alarms, accountability streaks, optimization loops, you're keeping the prefrontal cortex in a state of sustained activation that essentially crowds out the default mode network access. You're not resting between tasks, you're just overqueuing the next one. And over time, that matters because the default mode network isn't a luxury, it's where contentment actually lives. The irony is that the people most committed to performing at their best are often the ones systematically cutting themselves off from the neural state that makes performance meaningful. They've solved the urgency problem by manufacturing urgency permanently. They can execute, but they've lost the ability to just exist in the gray areas of life without feeling like something's wrong. That restlessness isn't ambition. It's the nervous system signaling that the framework built to help you start things has become the thing preventing you from ever stopping. So this is what I see in those people. And I am here criticizing people as I respond to optimization and being told I need to optimize stuff. But the thing about it is, what I see in those people is they lack empathy. They utilize other people to get what they want, and they don't see people as just, in my opinion, as just people. In fact, we were having another discussion about people, and there was a conversation about having empathy for the situation people are in the country when it comes to buying a home. You know, it's expensive, especially where I live. It's hard for first-time home buyers to come up with a solution for down payments. It's hard. Credit scores are hit. The global economic status is like upside down a lot lately. It's not. Since COVID, home prices gone up, but salaries haven't necessarily gone up. So people are having real struggles. And as we were talking about it one day in the office, I said, you need to be empathetic. And somebody said, no, you just need to keep calling people. Just keep calling people. Keep calling people until you find somebody who wants to transact. And I said, well, I don't look at people as transactional. I have a lot of empathy for where they are. And it really rubbed me the wrong way that the argument was you just need to call more people until you find somebody who wants to buy something. And yes, in a mindset where your number one goal is to make money, which everybody needs to make money, that is something you can do. However, I do think that when you're just putting yourself in a situation to make phone calls, and sell, and optimize, you're disconnecting yourself from the core of the reason of why we're even here, which is, in my opinion, to love one another, to be creative, to help each other, to connect on a deeper level. And you can't experience that, in my opinion, if you're constantly optimizing and looking at people as a source of money, as a source of a transaction, as a source of something that you need to optimize yourself into. So that's all I have to say about that today. And if you want to stick around and listen to me ramble about more stuff like this, then I would love to have you here. My channel is called The Unoptimized Life, where I talk about unoptimizing your life so that you can kind of get in touch with your default mode network. And I reflect on the things that I've experienced and conversations I've had, and hopefully they resonate with you as well. So if you feel like this resonated with you today, would love for you to leave a comment in the notes below. I might just post this fully as it is without any breaks, and just go from there and see what happens. All right, because this is my 6th video in 11 or 12 days, and I'm still trying to figure it out. All right, thanks.